I'm just not happy anymore enough to clap.
Welcome to episode 147 of One More Podcastle. My name is Eric Bailey. I have been brushing my teeth 47 times a day for the past 47 years, and I am the editor-in-chief of OneMoreCastle.com.
My name is Eric Hunter. I am the audio engineer and co-community manager, and I am also a rejected mutant from the X-Men team.
My name is Jason Lamb, resident Canadian, and the snows have suddenly thawed. I can see the sun again.
For those who can't see, and you're just listening to this episode, Hunter may have been rejected from the X-Men team, but they still let him keep the t-shirt.
That's right. Well, it's commemorative
Yes.
T-shirt. That's for tryouts. That was for tryouts.
Tryouts.
So I didn't pass the oral exam. As that's where they got me.
Oh, it's a toughie.
So we tried though. Maybe next year. That's they're like, there's always next year. And I was like, I don't know, this whole mutant thing is not really working out for me. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. But
Was anyone?
yeah.
Were any of them encouraging? Like, did Beast pull you aside and he's like, don't worry, old chum, I didn't make it in my first couple tries.
No, they all pretty much just was like, they just shunned me.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like, and
They kind of
I
threw the shirt at you as an afterthought, like, get out of here, and here's your stupid shirt.
yeah, so I, lowered my head and wrinkled up my my screenplay on stage, and then slowly exited stage left. So
Very dramatic of you. Very nice.
you can still see the tears that I on the shirt when I cried into it.
So,
I haven't washed it yet.
Now
We
it's
still love you.
classy.
Thanks. Thank you. It's good. It's all good. So hey, all right.
Jason, what have you been kicked out of lately?
AA.
That's not good.
I did not
That's
know you
not-
could get kicked out of AA. I thought they were pretty darn welcoming, but that's pretty bad.
I was a little too encouraging.
Did someone invite you to an AA meeting and you thought it was like a BYOB event?
Yeah.
Right.
Like an always alcohol event.
Always alcohol event. I've been to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they yeah. Those are good. Those are good times.
You know what? And it was a lot of fun until they kicked me out.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh, that's good. Wow. Well, Speaking of taking things in excess, have you guys played any old video games lately?
Jason did.
I did.
That's what I hear.
And we're all excited.
I actually did this week.
Man.
I played, and I'm going to just double check. I played.
Because it's so memorable.
I played a bit of Pokemon Emerald.
Okay.
I checked because there's so many damn versions.
Which one is
I
it?
only played because a couple weeks ago on Twitter, everyone was going crazy about Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's re-released a bunch of the old ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
pay
that.
a ton of money to play again. So I just downloaded the ROM.
As a screw you to Nintendo.
Yeah, screw you, Nintendo. So I played a bit of that, and let me say, it's a Pokemon game.
Which
true.
one is Emerald? Is that the DS one?
There's no way
It's
to
Game Boy
no.
Advance.
Yeah, it's not DS. No, there's no way to distinguish
came
the
in
Pokemon games, Hunter.
2005?
Which one is that
2004
one?
in Japan?
Is that the one with the ice cream Pokemon or the garbage Pokemon? I can never keep them straight. Is it the one with the whale or the starfish? I don't know.
I always get the set of keys. That one's always my favorite. Just give me a ring of keys. Put some eyeballs on it. Boom. There's your Pokemon.
Googly eyes. Make a Pokemon out of anything. Got a bookshelf?
Pokemon.
Put some googly eyes on that. Now it's a bookshelf of mine.
But, okay, let's be honest, though. Like, what are Pokemon's competitors? Like, what games out there that are designed for you to collect something that you can use in battles.
Yeah,
Digimon?
why aren't there more? No, there aren't any good Digimon games, though, Jason. You're
What
wrong.
was
No,
that?
they're not. The Digimon games are terrible.
Why are you
What about
trying to
those-
contribute to this topic with that trash?
What was that monster game where, like, Monster Rancher? You ranch some monsters?
Monsters.
Jason
collect
is
them, like
beyond
discs?
saving. The thing about Pokemon is I do wonder why there aren't more competitors. I think there's mobile games out there that are like obvious rip-offs of Pokemon. Some of them are doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But there's no like big launch thing.
Metabots. That was one. Collected robots.
Wait, what? Wait, what's it called? Metabot?
Metabots.
Metabots.
Yeah, Metabots. MEDA bots.
What is
They had a
this?
Game Boy game.
You
It's
collect
a,
robots? That's cool.
Yeah, it was a TV show. It was,
It was
a
an anime.
Game Boy game.
Yeah, I don't. Was it a game, Jason? Are you sure it was a game, Jason?
Yeah, Game Boy. Published by Imagineer, developed by Natsume.
Okay. That I,
That's...
Natsumi. That good old Natsumi.
Oh. Yep.
Metabots DS for the Nintendo
There's a
DS.
DS one as well.
I actually have to check that out. Look at Jason
Yes.
Lamb doing some nice little research for us.
Nice
Good
detective
work
work
there.
there, Jason.
Thanks.
So did you
I
like
know.
it? Did you not like it? Or is it just a Pokemon game?
It's just a Pokemon game. In
Excellent.
fact, I believe it was the fifth Pokemon game on the Game Boy Advance,
You're
because they
just
had Pokemon
talking
Ruby,
crazy.
Sapphire, Fire Red, and Leaf Green before this.
Those were
So if-
remakes.
Yeah, Fire Red and Leaf Green. So
Right.
Emerald is like, I guess it's a combined version of. Oh wait, it's like
It's-
it builds upon Pokemon Ruby
Yeah,
and Sapphire.
they always do like a
They
third
added some extra
leg.
crap.
There's always
Right.
like two.
Yeah.
Well, they don't always. They don't do
Yeah.
it anymore. I mean, because my thing is, I am a Pokemon fan. I played the legitimate cartridges for Blue and Silver. Took a break, but I have Pokemon Y and Soul Silver on my shelf over there. But the thing is, like, I understand the nostalgia of releasing the original games.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon Blue, that was my jam. But
Mhm.
if you have one of the newer games, in my opinion, they are polished enough. I can't spend money to buy the. I don't know. I think
They're more
people are
refined
really
because I mean,
yeah. I think
maybe that's the idea is that the systems of the old Pokemon games were broken in terms of like which Pokemon and just the way it was designed because they were still working on it. But now, with them being virtual and you can download them, they can release patches and updates that help refine that system, so that
Right.
you can basically replay the game, but it's more polished.
Right. The originals
I-
were a little less complicated as well, because you just like
That's
it's a
true.
fire Pokemon.
Right.
It's
There
a
were no
grass
shadow
Pokemon.
stats of
It's not like a bug flying fairy Pokemon that.
a set of
needs a
keys,
moonstone
Jason. A set
to-
of keys on a key ring.
yeah. And I have heard that with the re-release, at least you don't need a link cable to trade. They let you trade over Wi-Fi connection.
Right.
So that's
Yeah, which is
cool.
good. I do understand, but they re-released for, I guess, Red and Blue. They didn't re-release Fire Red.
Well, no, but they did
Or
yellow.
leaf green. Yeah. Yeah.
They just did the originals.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
The OG.
Well, I mean, I
it's a
don't know.
cash grab. We always make fun of Nintendo whenever they do
Oh, yeah.
this because that's what they do. So. it's all
So-
good.
Nintendo.
So Bailey, let me ask you: do you recommend Y? Do you recommend X? Like, do you recommend somebody who's only played Blue and Ruby Red?
Oh my gosh, yeah. If you've only played like Pokemon Blue, like the very original Generation 1 Pokemon, and you liked it, like if you enjoyed it, and you're like, ah, should I hop epic on and be like, yes. Because there's enough commonality. You still have the same, well, pick one of 3 starter Pokemon. Well, the first couple you're going to get are going to be this flying type and this little rat thing. Like, a lot of those are in common. But then there's so much more to do and so many more Pokemon. And so it's just... I mean, it's very formulaic. I mean, every
Oh
generation...
yeah.
The formula has not changed that much, guys.
No.
I don't care how hardcore of a fan you are a fan because you're just getting the same injection every couple of years.
Right.
So yeah, if you liked Blue, I would... Oh yeah, get Pokemon Black and White and just... Oh, you'll love it. You will love it.
Well, I've been looking for a game that like I can just like dive into without really thinking, if that makes any sense. Like I watched a review of an indie game called Stardust something or other. It's basically like a Harvest Moon,
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, yeah. And like I was watching this game and I was like, you're doing like meaningless tasks every day. But for some reason, I want to be that guy who does those meaningless tasks. So they had mentioned that it was like kind of a break of Harvest Moon. I was like, I've heard of this game, so let's check it out. So like I found the Super NES game and I watched a video. And there was Game Boy Advance games and blah blah blah. So it's like I started playing those, and like I kind of got hooked on that idea. So I don't know, like, because both of those styles of games to me, like, just hours of my day are going to be like mindlessly sucked into this, but I can't do both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want my honest opinion, Pokemon is a little bit too
I want you to lie to me. I want you to lie to me.
Okay, I will lie to you. Pokemon requires a little more thought than I'm comfortable with. I would recommend Smash Brothers 3DS if you want a mindless game. They have a mode where they just launch you into the same stage. It has generated enemies and like little doors and stuff. For 5 minutes, you kill as many things as you can, collect as many coins, and then afterward you can exchange them to like boost your powers, gain different moves. Like you can save different versions of each character that play differently. So if you just want to fire it up for 5 minutes and go through, try and get your new high score, or just, you can get a Mii character. I mean, that's more mindless to me. Just go in, beat stuff up.
All of that just sounds terrible.
Yeah? Okay. You have different tastes, you and I. I don't know.
Well, I got Smash Brothers for the Wii U, and I played it for maybe like 3 days straight. But I also got Mario Kart 8 the exact same time. I have definitely sunk in hundreds of hours into Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I still want you to lie to me, though.
Well, no, I lied. Whatever I just said, it was a lie. I promise.
It's all lies.
Absolutely. It was all lies.
It's all lies.
Speaking of all lies, what did you play, Hunter? Did you play anything this week? We haven't even gotten to you yet.
No. I went OG as you can possibly get for played some Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay. Honest opinion. What did you think? Does it hold up?
Yeah. It's I'm surprised now, like looking at it. It's like just how plain it is. How simplistic it is. It playing through it actually, it kind of reminds me of the Sgt. Pepper's album. Like every time I play it, I find something new and different. Like I didn't realize how odd it is when you watch Mario swim with his little feet kicking. Like it's like I guess I just never really noticed that before, or like maybe I did and I just kind of like pushed it off to the wayside. But watching his tiny little feet kick, him climbing the vine, that's the only time where you see him kind of like monkeyed on something. Like it's the only time. And like how many vines are in that game? Like 2, 3 maybe. So they created it rather than just just some arbitrary sprite. Like they made him all kind of like goofy on the side climbing up. Like who thought that was a good idea? There's a very odd day and night cycle in this game.
Yes.
So there's 2 worlds, World 3 and World 6, and they take place at night. But what I can't wrap my mind around is what planet the Mushroom Kingdom is on and how it is formed, where the night cycle lasts half as long as the day cycle. Do you know what I mean?
I think the game takes place in Iceland.
Right.
And it's far enough north that their day just happens to be 16 hours long, and the nighttime is 8 hours. So
that makes sense.
It's weird.
Super Mario Brothers takes place in Iceland. Yeah, it's canon.
I just thought that was like the strangest thing, because it only lasts 4 levels for the nighttime, but it's 8 for the daytime. So I don't.
You know what my thing is about Super Mario Brothers? What amazes me whenever I go back to it? It was like one of the literally very first Nintendo games. And one of the core mechanics is the Koopa enemy that you jump on him, you can kick his shell.
Yeah.
So you have an enemy character that could have killed you. It's an enemy combatant. But you turn him into a weapon to use against other characters you can then kill. There were 750 other NES games released in North America, half of them platformers. Can you name, besides the Mario series, 2 other NES games in which you can turn an enemy into a weapon?
Kirby.
That's the one I thought of. You can freeze an enemy and throw them, or like suck them up and spit them out. There's a few ways you can do it in Kirby.
Could you
Can
do
name
Ice
another
Climbers?
No.
No, you just kind of bop them.
I don't know.
Donkey? No.
There's got to
It
be one.
just-
Later.
It amazes me how early of a game it is, and how it's not the simplest mechanic. It is kind of a weird leap of thought, turn an enemy into an item.
Well,
But there's hardly any games that do it, and I don't know. Was it weird to program and nobody wanted to try it? Like, it's just really odd to me. I don't know.
Well, on top of that, so you can stomp on the Koopa, turn it into a weapon. Then if you kick the shell and it comes back, it turns into an enemy again, because if it hits you,
Right.
you die.
And if you let it stay there too long, the enemy pops back out.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's a if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, because I still stand the fact that if you are wanting to create a great game, you've got to tirelessly play Super Mario Brothers end to end multiple times to really seek, because there's so much information there that is just not on the surface. Like, there's a great series by The Game Show, which is made by PBS. It's on YouTube. You can find it. Highly recommend it. There's a bunch of Super Mario ones. The last one, he mentions I can't remember what the guy's name. He used to write for Kill Screen way back in the day. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he talks about when you're playing Super Mario Brothers, depending on if you are small, big, or have the firepower, how you approach each enemy is going to differ. So, for example, Bowser. So if you're small, the first thing you automatically want to do is run underneath Bowser to get to the axe. If you're big, you want to jump over him. And if you have the firepower, you want to stand back and just throw fireballs at him. All of this is instinctively of you just playing the game. Like, you never really come to that conclusion, or it's not told to you. It's just you realize, for whatever reason, that when you're small Mario, everything seems faster, and then you can sink underneath like small gaps. Even though the jump is just as high as it is when you're big Mario, but you never think the jump. You just automatically think the run underneath. You know, it's like little things like that in terms of like game design. It's just mind-boggling that this game came out in 1985. And like, there's still things like that that just don't exist today, you know? Like, if it would have been harnessed, like, rather than having pages and pages of dialogue or text that you have to read to figure out how to play the game, like, could you imagine how innovative these things would be now if, like, somebody popular other than Nintendo said, this is how this works, and then just continued to build off of it? Like, it's mind-boggling.
Can you imagine a new game that doesn't have a tutorial? Because it doesn't need one? Because it's so intuitive?
Oh god.
No.
No.
And a tutorial can be done well, but it's just an interesting thought.
I've played many a game where the tutorial was great, you know.
Yeah.
But I've played far more where it's either has stopped me from playing the game completely.
Wow.
Or I've just mindlessly clicked through, and then when I get to part of the game where I was supposed to know how to do something and I couldn't figure it out, I became...
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I do that when I go back to games. Games have become so complicated. If I play a game for a while, and for whatever reason, let's say, like, in games that stretch like 60, 70 hours, some of them, let's say I put a good 20 hours in, leave it for a few months and come back, I can never for the life of me remember all the mechanics.
Yep.
Because there's not that huge tutorial I've gone through again. It's
Right.
okay, how do I...
And you don't want to start over.
No. So at that point, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to play this again.
I mean, I am actively avoiding games that are longer than like 30 hours because I know I will never finish them.
Yeah.
And if I take that much time off, I'm just never going to be interested enough to pick them back up and play again because I have to go through all of that learning again.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, what have you been playing, Bailey?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, calling me crazy.
Look at Jason
All right.
Lamb.
So first of all, I haven't played this yet, but I'm really excited to. But I want to feature it anyway, real quick. I made an eBay purchase off of Tom Hall. You can find him on Twitter, Ocarina of Tom. Vigilante 8 for the Nintendo 64 with the box.
Oh, nice.
I like vehicular combat games, and most people, you hear the genre of vehicle combat, and immediately you go to Twisted Metal.
Sure.
As you should. Great series. I have not played a Twisted Metal game in probably 12, 13 years. And around that time, I only played the PS1 version of Vigilante 8. So I, again, haven't actually popped this bad boy in yet. I just got it this week, but I'm going to carve out some time. And it's going to be a treat. I can't wait. Oh, that's going to be good.
So one of the vehicles was a hot dog vendor, like a Wienermobile, I think.
Yeah, probably.
It's a good one. I mean, for what it was a solid game.
Yeah. So I'm looking for. There's just something unique about a driving game. You don't have to race.
Yeah.
It's all about the violence and trying to kill everyone else. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can support that.
It's good old family fun.
Why are we arbitrarily going around in a circle a few times? Shouldn't we be trying to kill each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
And not rubbing other cars.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to bump into you. I'm going to fire live ammunition. I'm going to try to explode your vehicle, light it on fire, and watch your flesh burn to a crisp as you scream from within the confinement of your roll cage that you thought would keep you safe, but is now only keeping you trapped.
That's amazing.
Trapped in your own agony. Looking forward to it. The game I actually played, I went to Hunter's Playbook. It's something he brought to the Retro Showdown like a year ago. The original Kirby's Dream Land.
Ooh.
Nice.
And I have to say,
It's not good.
I was that's what I was expecting. I was expecting to be underwhelmed because there's no power copying. It's the very basic bare bones template of what would be to come, but it does have a certain charm to it.
The music's great.
The music's great. The Game Boy, for some reason, has great chip tunes. Just as good, if not better, than the NES on so many games. Just great sounds coming out of that little machine. And almost every element of Kirby's Dream Land does show up in Kirby's Adventure, but then it's full color and they add a ton of things. But what's funny to me is there are still a few things that aren't. Like there'll be like this little enemy that hops by, and I'm playing this and I'm like, I've never seen that. But what was that? I just ate him. Like I can't see him again. What was that? But you still have your Wispy Woods fight. You still have the whole restoring
Bomb jumper guy or whatever he's called.
Right. Yeah, the whole like the multi-tiered level thing where they're coming across, which is harder in Kirby's Dream Land. Like those stages with the multiple mini bosses going back, those are challenging. That actually, I died. Not proud to say I died at that part, but I died at that part. So I am dead now, but that was the last game I ever played, and it was a positive experience. Yeah.
Good.
Ghost Bailey here to
go.
stay. Yeah. Playing old Nintendo games. Yeah.
It happens.
Speaking of death, we got a listener email discussion question. Goes like this. Hello, bags of flesh. For the past 200 days, I have been hurtling at the speed of light towards the star Betelgeuse, as a punishment for my past crimes against humans in various parts of the galaxy. While flying toward my impending doom, I can't help but think of the good old days when I got to level entire cities of humans at one time. I often wondered what brought my enemies comfort before they met their demise. So the question I raise to you, Team One More Castle, is this. If you were being punched in the face by a robot, what game's memory would bring you the most comfort? Likewise, what game reminds you of getting punched in the face by a robot? Your mortal enemy, the Time Puncher.
See, I don't remember him being that mean.
I don't either.
Like, I mean, I guess flying through space at, the speed of light, that's kind of does it to you, I guess.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I guess.
Interesting question, though. I feel... So if I'm being punched in the face by a robot...
Yeah.
I want to think that I would be able to separate myself from that moment and push my consciousness off into something else. So like I'm going to be like E. Honda in the Street Fighter movie where he's getting whipped and he's just like chilling on a beach somewhere, but he's actually getting whipped in a dungeon. But he talks, I don't know. It's a poor reference. So I've always been really angry at the aliens in Contra 3 Alien Wars. Because, like, there's no physical way that any human being would be able to side with the aliens from Contra 3 Alien Wars. Like, there's no platform anywhere on Earth that's like, you know what, they're not that bad. I mean, yeah, they're leveling cities, they're taking us hostages and slaves, but, they make a good turnip juice. That there is no platform that says that. So I would think that if I was getting punched in the face by a robot, I would want to direct my anger to something else, which would be the aliens in Contra 3 of Alien Wars. So that's what I'm but being punched in the face by a robot reminds me of Justice, or Robot Justice. Robot Justice? Justice Robot? Robotic Justice? What's that Genesis game?
The fighting game? The really bad robot fighting game?
Mm-hmm.
Justice. Genesis. Losing my cred. Cyborg Justice.
There you go.
Cyborg
Justice.
It's because you are a literal robot punching literal robots in the face. There you go.
Does not take place in a video game at all.
No.
That's a thing. It's a thing that happens.
Actually a robot.
Jason?
If I'm getting punched in the face by a robot, I'm going to assume this hurts a lot, given they're a robot. So I'm probably partially concussed, if not fully concussed.
Or dead.
Or dead. Close to. I'm going to probably fantasize about Theme Hospital and pretend I'm in a hospital being taken care of, as opposed to being beaten in the face repeatedly by a robot.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
How meta of you.
Yeah, and what reminds me the most of being punched in the face by a robot is probably Daikatana. Because that game was like being punched in the face
by a robot. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm still waiting for my high-res texture pack, Jason. So, whenever you get on that.
I'll get right on that. God, I'm so tempted. So tempted.
So bad.
I feel like
How about you,
feel like my answer's kind of cheesy now. But if I wanted to go to a happy place, like my gaming memory that I want to return to, I got to go with Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And the simplest way I can explain it is that a lot of Nintendo fans, like people who grew up and put a lot of, like, I will go ahead and say emotional investment into Nintendo games, like they really like pour themselves into them a bit. Their magic moment for many of them came with Super Mario 64 and this realization of one of their heroes in a three-dimensional world. And this whole new universe of possibilities and whoa, that kind of mind-blowing experience. I didn't play Super Mario 64 for years and years. So I got that experience with the Ocarina of Time. So it's probably not even in my top 3 favorite Zelda games or what I think would be the best ones. But in terms of pure sentimentality, when you go back to that fuzzy feeling of playing it the first time, that's what I'm going back to, Time Puncher. Let's go ahead. Hit me again. As for games that make me feel like I'm being punched in the face, I'm going to go with Spelunker on NES. If you haven't played Spelunker, don't.
Please.
It's terrible. Let me put it this way. It's this little thing where you come down a mine shaft and you got to travel the same way through the cave if you're a Spelunker. But if you fall 2 inches, you die. but there are jumps to make. So every move you make has to be like super precise. So maybe it appeals to those kind of people. I like free flowing movement. I don't like stuff that restrains me from moving. But then it's one of those games, it's old school, where if you beat it once, then it's like, okay, well now do the same thing, but all the items you have to grab to complete the level, they're invisible now. So try again. And then it's like, well, okay, you can do that. Now let's make the enemies invisible. Oh, now try. It's stupid. It's really stupid.
It's a really bad game.
It's like trying to sell a rusty razor blade as a game.
Wow.
Like, here, chew on this. And you're like, oh, Spelunker. Oh, yeah, I love this. This is great. No, you're an idiot.
Here's the sequel.
Yeah, in Japan, they got a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah. That sequel arrived at the border of the US of A. And we said,
We sunk that ship to the bottom of the sea.
There was a third atomic bomb dropped that nobody ever talks about.
The Spelunker 2 atomic bomb.
on the boat carrying this one. That's a really terrible. It's probably offensive that I just told that joke, but I'm not.
I laughed.
Out there.
Nobody listens to this podcast.
No.
Amen. Speaking of nobody listening, you guys ready to take a little break? Should we take a music break right now?
Let's do
Music
it.
break.
Alright, cool. Music break. And we're back! That was Neo Gauge by Roll Music. Just a fun little chiptune track I found on the internet, of all places. So you can download that if you want. It's pretty cool. Speaking of stuff that's pretty cool, it's time for the Retro Showdown.
Retro Showdown!
For anyone who doesn't know, Retro Showdown is pretty much the best part of the show. Simply put, we each have secretly chosen an old video game, and we'll each have 1 minute to introduce our choice. Then we're going to argue about who picked the best game. But the best part is that you, the audience, get to vote for your favorite in a poll on the podcast episode page. So please feel free to do that. And I'm looking back at the results from 2 episodes ago. The theme was games on the Sega Genesis, and the winner was Hunter, of course.
Yes!
So it went as predicted.
Duh.
Streets of Rage 2 wiped the floor with my choice, Contra Hardcore, and Jason, who picked Flicky of all games. So,
Flicky's great.
yeah. So
It's no
good work,
Streets of
everyone.
Rage 2, though.
Yeah,
Flicky.
I knew I couldn't beat Streets of Rage 2. I thought I had a chance. Like, pick the hipster choice. Oh, it's the best
Screw
Contra
you.
game. But no,
The
it wasn't.
hipster choice would have been Flicky.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
That's
play
okay,
Flicky
that's
on
true.
Steam.
But mine was the one that actually had a chance. Flicky is just a novelty pick. But then again, Jason's won like 30 times with those stupid.
It's still going. It's not still
Who am I
ongoing.
to-
This one, that one was rigged just to stop the win streak of Jason Land. Like, his button didn't even work on the poll. Like, it was just the name, and it was grayed out. So it's just...
Yeah, and the theme tonight is games that take place in another dimension.
Another dimension.
So I look forward to whatever the heck you guys brought.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, Jason, can you get 1 minute on the clock so I can go first?
It's queued up. How are you ready? You may.
Oh, I just realized I omitted an important detail. I'm ready.
All right, you may go.
For tonight's pick, I picked Kirby's Dream Land 3 on Super Nintendo. Kirby's Dream Land 3 is another entry in the Kirby franchise. It started with the original on the Game Boy, which I actually played in preparation for this episode. It's kind of a comparison thing. You have your usual Kirby stuff. It's colorful, well-designed. It's a side-scrolling platformer. It hinges on Kirby, a protagonist that can steal the powers of defeated enemies, but not just the bosses, like that Mega Man guy. What a loser. So, in Dreamland 3, not only does Kirby have several powers he can use, but he has these partner characters that enhance his powers. So it adds like a whole second dimension of mixing your powers up with what you can do. There's a co-op mode. The level design is interesting. There's this pattern of secret finding depending on which level of the world you're in. And overall, it's a very mellow game. It's really difficult to feel angry or stressed out when you're playing. It's Dreamland 3. Kirby.
Alrighty. Hunter, are you ready? You may begin.
If Back to the Future 2 has taught us anything, it's that if you travel back in time, you ultimately create an alternate dimension. Moving in this new dimension gives you a chance to try and redeem yourself from past failings. Maybe even give an old rival another round. Possibly 3 rounds. Much like our beloved Dr. Brown in Back to the Future, our friend and comrade, Dr. Wily, travels back in time once again to try and defeat Mega Man, and the only iteration to see the light of day on the Sega Genesis. That is Mega Man Wily Wars. Relive the glory of the first 3 games in the franchise, history now in glorious 16-bit color and schemes. Vacation with the likes of Cutman, Woodman, and Topman again. Test your mettle against opposing foes using special weapons from other titles. That's right. It's an all-out war with Mega Man. Wily Wars for the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
Well, I guess I'll go.
Nah, you'd better.
All right. Released in 1996, exclusively in Japan, for the NEC PC 9801.
What?
This survival horror adventure game tells the story of a group of students trapped in a haunted elementary school. In Chapter 3, they realize, hey, parts of our school, they're in different dimensions.
Dun, dun, dun.
Not only was this game crafted using the first entry in the RPG Maker series, it won second annual ASCII Entertainment Competition in 1997. That's right, it won first place. What is this wonderful game, you ask? Why, it's nothing but the classic Corpse Party.
Huh?
That's it, huh?
Yeah. Corpse Party. Corpse. It's Corpse Party. Also came out on the PSP later.
Huh.
Yeah, Corpse Party. It's a thing.
Okay.
You can download it on the iPhone and the 3DS.
I don't want to do any of those things, though, Jason.
But you should play it on the NEC PC 9801.
I mean, I guess it's not flicky.
Yep.
Flicky's a classic, you know. Little bird.
Flicky's a classic.
I
Okay,
think
so I
it's
wanted to...
stretched.
So So like always, week after week, anytime that you guys when you bring a game, I immediately go to the Wikipedia page and just get a quick rundown. So I want to read the plot to Kirby's Dream Land 3 because
Please.
like the second I started reading it, like this very dramatic movie voiceover voice came to my head, and it's hilarious. So here's how this goes.
After the events of Kirby's Dream Land 2, Kirby and Gooey are on a fishing trip when all of a sudden, dark matter appears and shatters the planet's rings.
Like, that's hilarious. Man.
The part I failed to mention in my intro is that Kirby's Dream Land 3 takes place in Dreamland. So, there you go.
Oh, right.
That's important for the category.
Yeah.
At stake tonight.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
Kirby. Great.
makes me giggle. Makes me giggle. Kirby's Dream Land.
Kirby's Dream Land 3. It's fun.
Is it?
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Is it?
I think, yeah, it is. I think I got it this week. So
Or is it just another Kirby game?
I ain't scared. No,
I mean, it still doesn't. The series just does not do anything for me.
No.
Like, and not just this
Really?
game, not just this game, just the entire franchise. Like, even what was the Wii game that came out?
Return to Dreamland? Or Epic Yarn?
Epic Yarn. Like, I'm playing that game and I was like, wow, this is a really good game. And I'm starting to do research on it. And I'm like, oh, this was never intended to be a Kirby game. Like, come on, man. I just don't. What does Kirby's Dream Land 3 bring new? What new does it bring to the table?
The partner characters. So,
That makes
like
it
Rick
even
the
easier,
hamster can hold you as he runs around, and he can double jump through the air, and you can before you were just breathing fire, but now you're breathing huge fire. And this little green bird that carries you around, flies around like that, and he has this electrical attack where you control him with the remote. He's flying around, you can steer him. There's 2 different bird character partners that fly and stuff.
Oh,
It's
good.
these partner characters, they're great. And co-op, player 2 can jump in and play as my wife jumped in for a little bit when we were playing this. She was Gooey.
Oh, it's a co-op thing. That's interesting.
It can be,
That
yeah.
redeems it.
Because Gooey, instead of inhaling enemies, he flicks out this long tongue and just slurps them right in. So,
But that's not different than Kirby taking it, sucking in his mouth. Like having a second
Oh,
character
yeah,
who
yeah,
flies.
it's
I mean,
the
Kirby
same.
flies. What's it?
Yeah.
it's not. You don't need the second character to be a whole lot different. You just need a second.
Is there?
character.
You know what? Is there also a character named Poochie in this?
There is not no Poochie.
No Poochie.
So Jason's on board because I know he hates Poochie. So
Because he hates Poochie. Is that what it is? Just Poochie in general?
yeah, he hates Poochie. I don't know why. I like Yoshi's Island. I think it's a masterpiece.
Oh, see, I didn't realize there was a character called Poochie in Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
I was referencing The Simpsons.
No. It's not Yoshi's Island.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Super Mario World 2.
2.
Yoshi's Island.
Darn right. That's funny.
I don't know. This game's boring to me.
Yeah,
Kirby's
it's boring
Dream Land
as
3,
well.
it's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Just the parallax
Oh, no,
scrolling
the
in the
art-
background
the art's
and
great and
the pixel kind of blending. It's an absolutely beautiful game. But it's also a baby's toy.
It is a very mellow game. It's
I
you're just
want
playing through
a
dream.
game where it takes skill to play,
Yeah.
It might
No,
take
I'm
some
watching a
skill.
video and there's Gooey kicking around there, but he's off literally doing his own thing. He's attacking enemies you're not even near.
Yeah,
he's
isn't that
just,
great?
He's just cleaning
Just take
things
care
up.
of him. You don't even have to worry about him.
It's just
Gooey's got it. Gooey 2016.
Jesus.
His campaign slogan, Gooey's got it.
Gooey's got it.
Don't worry about it. Gooey's got
Remember
it.
the Gooey old days? Gooey does. Gooey's got it.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. We actually, so quick aside, we actually had a guy in Cincinnati who was running for mayor, He was from Newport, which is way back in the day was kind of like the gangster area back in like the 20s and 30s.
Nice.
So his nickname was TV because he owned a TV repair shop, sold TVs. That was his front though. It was a front. That was his nickname. They called him TV. So anyway, his slogan was, whatever his name was, something TV, something. Remember the good old days. Vote for mayor. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, you were one of the leaders when it came to like drugs and alcohol and violence and like organized crime. Remember the good old days? No, that's not.
That's such a terrible front too, because what TV repairman can afford a mayoral candidacy, like a full-on campaign? There is no TV repairman that can afford to run for mayor. That campaign is not going to get funded.
Sales were good that year, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he repaired 4 million televisions that year. Yeah, he was repairing about 12,000 televisions every day.
Exactly. Charging a premium.
Every second, another 35 televisions repaired. There you go. There they are. Yeah.
So now, Bailey, I think you hurt yourself. Talking about Kirby's Dream Land earlier, and just about how kind of quaint and mediocre it is.
See,
it's no Mega Man Wily Wars for the Sega Genesis. So,
but
greatest
I've heard things about Wily Wars. I've heard things,
amazing things, great things, things that dreams are made of, not dreamlands, like actual dreams.
Thing number one I've heard, music does not compare to Nintendo's Mega Man games.
It's a little slower.
It's
the bass is a little lackluster. Some of the notes are a little off. But I mean some of the tracks actually make your ears bleed slightly, just slightly, ever so slightly. So,
Jason, can you name like just a popular band that you kind of like? Doesn't have to be your favorite, just like a band.
Pearl Jam?
Okay. Can you imagine Pearl Jam coming on stage at a concert?
Yep.
And they approach the microphone and they say, "Okay, everyone, just so you know, bass is straight out. That's not going to happen tonight. We're not going to have any bass. My voice is shot, so some of my notes are going to be a little off. And we don't remember our best songs."
Well, that sounds great. That sounds.
That
sounds like a great concert.
Would you stick around for that concert? Would you bother? Would you be there?
I'd probably demand my money back.
There would be riots. Like people would murder each other at that concert.
Well, you know what? That's okay because this game was never released on a cartridge in America, so no one played it.
It's true.
The
cartridge
realized it was that crap.
Cartridge was only released in Japan and Europe, but if you had the Sega channel, which I know everybody did,
who didn't?
You'd play it in installments.
Yeah. I love to pay for the Sega channel on a monthly basis.
Correct.
So that I can download what some would call an HD remake of a game I like, but instead of doing it properly, they kind of just butchered it. But that's okay. I'm paying monthly for this.
I don't know where you get that HD part, because they're always a D-make. When Mortal Kombat 2 came to the Sega channel for a month, you could only play as 4 characters.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What the hell?
One of them was Nightwolf.
Oh, jeez.
Which, I mean, he's a fun character. Did you not like Nightwolf?
Yeah, he's not the worst.
I thought Nightwolf was...
No one remembers Nightwolf.
I don't think he's in the new Mortal Kombat.
He does have the best uppercut, the tomahawk uppercut.
Oh yeah, that tomahawk is so sweet. Yeah. So
I would say it's 8-bit because it went from HD because it went from 8-bit to 16-bit.
Oh right,
it's kind of a high res, sure.
Yeah, they added some more pixels.
But here's the thing: if you play, which again we've already established nobody actually played this game, but if you played Mega Man Wily Wars. And then you play Mega Man X2 on Super Nintendo? Oh my gosh. You'd be blown away.
That is not a fair comparison.
Oh, it's absolutely fair.
Because
16-bit systems.
Mega Man X2 was a superior game to begin with. Just
That's
by
my
the
point.
you can't compare that to a first
Yeah, you
generation Mega Man game. That's not
Yeah,
fair.
you can.
Okay,
Yeah, you
here's
can.
the bread and butter of Mega Man Wily Wars. Okay, so does she have a banana?
Her toothbrush is a banana. Yes.
Oh.
Let me get you a close up. See that?
Is that a
Hello.
thing? You're kidding
It's
me.
a thing.
Why
you
don't
got
I
all
have
kinds of
one?
stuff to look forward to, Hunter.
I'm really upset that I personally do not
I have
have
one.
a banana
Hey,
toothbrush.
baby.
Hey,
How's it
baby.
going?
We're gonna tell you why Mega Man is such a great game.
And Kirby is not.
Kirby's a terrible game. Don't
Terrible
vote for
game,
Kirby.
baby.
Okay, so here is where Wily Wars does it right. So not only do you get to play all 3 games and beautiful 16-bit, you also get to play through the Wily Wars, which is the Mega Wily Fortress where you can pick any special weapon from any of the 3 games. You can mix and match.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Like, I never
Well,
understood
amazing.
why did Mega Man suddenly lose all of his information from the previous Robot Masters in the previous game? Why was that a thing? Why did he start off so weak? It was like, dude, this was like last year that Wily designed these 8 robots to kill you, and you just suddenly like rebooted. Come on, did you get amnesia of the robot brain? That's not how this works. Where's all my weapons?
Amnesia of the robot brain.
Come on.
Well,
Guys,
we're touching the keyboard.
you know, me and your games just get this Corpse Party.
All right, man.
Don't even.
Okay.
Do we have to talk about? Do we have to even acknowledge
Yeah,
this stupid
Corpse
game?
Party.
So,
Corks. Corky.
Corpse. Just play with some
Corpse.
corpses.
Corks. How about corks?
Corpse,
I'd rather play
Corpse
Corks
Party. Come on,
Okay.
it's 7 senior high school students, their English teacher, and 1 junior high school student.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they go to Heavenly Host Elementary,
Heavenly Host Elementary.
and they got there after performing a ritual called the Sachiko event, Ever After Charm.
this game was legitimately designed using one of the first iterations of RPG.
Literally
Maker.
the first RPG maker.
Okay, now that's
TPG
kind of neat.
Tsuku 98.
So you said it won the ASCII game competition.
Yeah, came first place, 1997.
Okay, was it up against a wet sock and a rusty thumbtack?
Maybe, kind of, probably.
I bet it was. That's my bet.
But hey, great.
Oh, stinky baby. No, I gave it to you once. You didn't like it. You want to say something? You want to say something? No.
No,
You want to say Mega Man rocks?
you want to say Corpse Party?
No, don't want to say
All right,
Corpse
little
Party.
legend. Say Corpse Party.
I heard it.
Okay, I can't download this game for free.
You are the
Corpse
worst
Party?
podcast guest
Yep.
ever. Get out of here.
Really?
That's been
I
rebuilt.
Oh yeah, because it got re-released on a bunch of stuff. Go get it for your Nintendo 3DS.
I just don't. What is it? $9.99? I'm not going to spend that kind of money
I
on this
don't
crap.
know. I'm just gonna download the PSP ROM.
Oh, that'll work.
It's gonna be awesome and terrible.
That's what because I've played a little bit of around with like RPG Maker, and it's pretty robust. Like
It is surprisingly.
it's massive. Like you can dive super deep into that. So I'm curious as to what that first iteration because it has to be good enough to garner awareness from other people to be like, wow, this is a neat project. Like I want to
Yeah.
take part in this project. And if this was one of the first games designed on that platform, like I'm intrigued, but it also looks like shit.
Right.
So
You know what? It's had a whole franchise after it, including Corpse Party, Book of Shadows, along with many other spin-offs. So it was successful.
Did you just say Corpse Party Book of Shadows?
Yeah.
I cannot
I-
think of a more cliched name for a
How about
sequel.
No, this
than
one's
Book
better.
of
How about
Shadows.
Corpse Party 2, Dead Patient?
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, these are great. Yeah.
No, see, I already know. No.
Yeah, hi baby.
she's taking over.
Taking over.
She's trying. Stinky kid.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can't do it, man. I can't
Corpse
do
Party.
it.
You should do it. You should vote. Vote, everyone.
Like maybe if I was playing like a remake that was done 10 years later, maybe.
Well, yeah, then you get to play the PSP one.
I just don't.
Came
But
in
that's not what you
2011.
brought. That is not what you
No,
brought.
I brought the.
That's true, Jason. Yeah.
You brought the original. Yep.
Yeah, and it's great.
It was your
I
fatal
can
mistake.
I can guarantee. You know what? If you get your hands on a
corpse?
NAC PC 9801, I can guarantee you it will be worth the pain in the ass it was to acquire that piece of hardware.
That's a kind of a weird guarantee. I'll take it.
Yeah, so you should go to Japan and get one of those.
Oh, okay. Right on it. Buying the plane
Right on.
ticket now.
I'm sure it's on eBay.
It probably is. Everything's
Oh,
on eBay.
that's not bad. Oh no. See, I can get it for $113.
What?
That's expensive, dude.
I mean, Kirby's Dream Land 3 is $110.
See, you should buy one.
I'm not going to spend $110 on Kirby's Dream Land 2. Like that's
No, that's just stupid. Why would you?
or I can spend $25 and play 3 games in one, which is Mega Man Wily Wars.
Wait, is that how much it cost a month?
No, it's a one-time fee.
Oh, really? It's one time fee?
One-time fee.
Pretty good.
You guys are great. If you want a real deal, you could get the Kirby's Dream Land collection for Wii.
Oh yeah, isn't that like super rare now though?
Is it? Because I don't think it's like super rare. I think it's not like Metroid Prime trilogy. That's the. Ugh. Now, let me see where it's at nowadays. eBay,
Buy it now,
quick
$55,
roll,
$35. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of games. I mean, that to me would be worth the purchase.
Yeah.
If you like Kirby games. Because earlier it sounded like you kind of didn't, so I understand. But if you, I mean,
realistically, just for in terms of preservation, even if you don't like Kirby games, like that's, I mean, you're getting a lot of games for a very small price.
Right. Yeah, you're getting,
like you're getting what, 6 games?
Each of those games is a good game.
Like the only game it's missing is the golf game. Like if it had the golf game on here,
Well, it is kind of a shame.
that'd be good to go.
I think they knew what they were doing too.
Yeah. Well, the golf game is much better.
Jason, can I actually ask you an actual legitimate question, like a real, authentic? What kind is your game? Like a video game? Like what do you do? Like what kind of game is this? I have no idea.
It's a horror adventure game.
So
Your students
what
trapped in a haunted
perspective is
elementary
the? I have like what? Give me
it's
what
like
is the gameplay like?
It's like a classic RPG perspective. So like Chrono
So it's like
Trigger, Final Fantasy, like the my little guy's walking along.
Okay.
It's a crappy isometric where when people are standing in place, they're actually marching for whatever reason.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Never understood that. That was always one of those things. Like,
Yeah, just
I'm with Hunter on this. If I'm standing still, I should be standing still. I'm not. I'm standing in place in my hometown.
It's like, well, hey man, calisthenics. You gotta get it in when you can get it in.
Yeah.
You just gotta find the time to do it. So.
Yep.
It's
yeah, it's there's battles.
I do like battles. That's true. I might try RPG Maker.
It's an RPG
because I've heard it's not just a matter of changing how it looks, but like how the characters battle.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to do turn-based,
really
real time, the menu system, the commands, the timing of it all. I've heard it's really comprehensive. So
I will say,
cool.
For the little bit that I played with it, probably one of the best things about it is there's a ton of built-in assets already. So like tons of sprites, graphics, tiles. So
now,
you can
communities.
You can literally just tool around with all of that built-in stuff just to figure out the mechanics of how the thing actually tinkers without spending time building graphics or taking graphics from another website. So that's very cool.
Now, I'm like a game-making idiot. I have no clue about anything. So the one question I will ask for now is, can you edit the graphics that it comes with, or is it a matter of you have to use these or start from scratch? Okay, so you can actually take like a pre-made asset and tweak it.
Yeah, change colors, actually draw on top of, that kind of thing.
That's fantastic. Okay, cool. All right. Can you add procedural generation?
I I'm sure there's
Maybe.
I'm sure there's a plugin
wow.
for it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
There you go.
Final arguments.
So, vote up Scores Party.
Final arguments. Jason, why would anyone want to vote for a game that was made in the first version of RPG Maker, only on a system nobody has ever heard of, and won a game competition in which it was up against a broken keyboard and your grandmother's pajama pants?
Well, because it's a party with corpses.
That is the best
So,
argument you can
vote
have.
Corpse Party.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I can make.
Hunter, why would anyone want to play a watered down 16-bit Mega Man?
You should definitely vote for Mega Man Wily Wars for the Sega Genesis because it's the Mega Man we've always wanted. One without amnesia.
Whatever you say, Papa. Whatever you say. I think you should vote for Kirby's Dream Land 3. Because it's a great game. It's classic Kirby. And it's so mellow. Like the graphics just lull you into a sense of warm, comfy coziness. And you just kind of breeze along. It's a fun little adventure in Dreamland, you know?
None of that sounds appetizing.
Well, to you maybe, but there's people who dig it. I don't know. And that's our showdown. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch, I'm on Twitter at Nintendo_legend. My blog is NintendoLegend.com. Jason, do you have anything you want to promote? Any shout outs you want to give specifically? Anything like that?
You can follow me on Twitter at Jason Lamb. And I'm going to give a shout out to Donald Trump. It's making America great again.
Wow.
That's right.
Now, Jason,
right.
when you say you're on Twitter at Jason Lamb, is Lamb spelled like the traditional L-A-M-B as in boy?
As in boy?
Yeah, B as in boy.
B
The
as in
last
boy.
letter.
Oh, being and boy. I thought you were like equating the word lamb as in boy. You know, lamb as in boy.
I spelled it a little bit too quickly, but it's
Yeah, it's L-A-M-B.
okay. So just so everyone knows,
Like the
it's
animal.
not
Little
it's
lamb.
not Jason Lamb
A
like
little lamb.
L-A-M. Because I actually know a guy. His last name is L-A-M. Lamb. So I just want to clarify for the first time in our 3 years of doing this, it's how to
with a
spell.
B.
It's with a B.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
You know what? I will give a shout out to Jason L-A-M.
Oh, that's
Because he's on Twitter too. And he only has 10 followers.
Oh, you know what?
Followers,
I'm going to follow him now.
Has he tweeted ever?
All his tweets are in
Oh,
Chinese.
he is Chinese. That's awkward. I am not going to follow him now.
No, you should.
All right, I'm following him.
Great.
Oh, he
There you
tweets
go.
a lot. I found him with an underscore.
man.
He tweets a lot. No,
Oh,
if
no,
you
that's
go,
not him. This is a different one.
No. I recommend Jason Lamb _. Just put a underscore where the B would be for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because this guy's in
Photographer,
Singapore.
writer, dancer.
He writes in
40,000?
English.
All right, well, let's
Yeah,
follow this
he has
Jason
almost
Lamb.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow him.
All the
Follow
Jason
all
Lambs.
of the Jason Lambs.
He has a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jason Lampa. This is great. He makes like jokes. He really likes the F word a lot. Like half his jokes are just F and stuff. That's
I mean,
interesting.
F-bombs, you know. Feeling so much
Wouldn't
better.
mind having this for breakfast every day. There's a picture of like food and drink that I don't recognize.
Nice. There you go.
On
Jason,
March
This is almost
7th,
as impressive as finding out that Yoko Ono was on Twitter, who I am still following, by the way, just so you know.
as you should. Oh,
I have
Yoko
Infuriates
Ono
me every time
never
she
changed.
comes up. I'm just like,
On March 7th, Jason Lamb tweeted, "I can't live my nights consumed by the tragedy of truth and then go about my days in blissful denial." Wow.
it's good. Before
Is he a
that, he
philosopher or
wrote
is that a cry
simply.
for help?
Before that, he wrote simply discontinued. Yep.
Everyone follow him.
It's good. It's good.
That's good. Okay. Hunter, how about you? Any crazy
Yeah.
doppelganger shoutouts?
You can follow me on Twitter at Eric Hunter. For all things me, check out ericmhunter.net. And there is an Eric Hunter that I get referred to quite often on Twitter. He's an MMA fighter. Apparently, he's not that good. But he has, because I'll suddenly get notifications from people who are like, man, Eric Hunter, you took a hard right swing on that one. Where's your ducking ability? And I'm like, my ducking ability is usually not that bad. I'm pretty light on my feet, typically. And then it's like, I'm not kidding. Like it'll happen like 6 or 7 times a month, and like just once in like the past year that this has been going on, one guy was like, "Oh, wrong Eric Hunter. Nice to meet you," and then just casually moved on. Like I did my favorite, and then that was it. Like because I always try to favorite and retweet, but yeah, so,
Nice.
good.
Well, my shout out's going to be for Eric Bailey TW. He covers Oklahoma football, Big 12 basketball, and college baseball for the Tulsa World. That's what the
Nice.
TW's for. He has a Twitter verified check mark, even though I have more than twice as many followers. He does.
How was that?
I'm not going to get started on that. I don't know. I have a brand in my title that's not mine, so I can never get verified. But small town.
I don't
reporter sure can.
ever see myself having enough followers to even come close to being verified, so I'm okay with that. I think what I'm going to do is just take my photo and just put a little blue check mark in the corner just to see if anybody notices.
You should totally
Been like,
do
whoa,
that.
no, totally verified. It's on the photo. Like, don't be that guy.
And then your Twitter banner can be like a loading error. Like everyone thinks the image is not loading for them.
It just looks broken. It's classic.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, that was
There you
fun.
go.
That's our show.
That's what happens.
And we'll see you next week. But last but not least, remember, you are bad enough to